bear with me, I'm going to try and simplify the flat earth design a little bit more. Some people just aren't getting it. That's how Earth's looking down on it. These are the magnetic fields. We don't see, obviously. But the southern field is a lot bigger than the northern field. Northern hemisphere is way smaller. It just expands outward. You've just got to put your mind to it. That's Earth. Slice it to the middle. This is what we've got. We are created in the realm here, the donut. It's a complete donut. That is the same as that, all the way around. In the centre of the donut we have the ring. That's not part of our realm. We cannot get to that centre ring. It's outside. We're inside the donut circle. We can't get there. The tree of life is here. Everything that's created out here is from within there. It's just inverted. So whatever creation is, we're inverted. It's like this. And this is what it's doing. And what does it look like? That's an atom. So it's being flushed out. So you've got this system, right? In here. But it's amplified out, creating our realm. So straight away you have this dual system out here. There's the dual system. The magnetic field comes up like this and goes down like that and goes through the ground negative and back up again. Up, down, to negative, back out again. And that's just how it works. But in the beginning, we just had a magnetic field doing nothing. It just sat there. Or a magnetic flux, whatever. But nothing happens until you get voltage. Voltage is movement. So nothing moves until the sun is created. And what is the sun? What is light? Light is frequency. It sits there, nothing happening till it hits the right resonance. It's all about frequency and the right resonance. And if you want to know all about resonance, there's only one guy on this earth I think has got a brain. And that's Jared Moran. Check out his sites. The double helix and Tesla's sea of energy. He knows what's going on. He thinks outside the stupid education system. I know exactly what he's talking about. Because I never got educated. That's it. It's all about resonance. Getting the right resonance. This is where we find the magic, the energy, the free energy. It's in the right resonance. It's the third entity, the Trinity. Because in the beginning we have Adam and Eve, right? Adam and Eve. Now what does that sound like? Add them and leave. We add two opposing forces, you'll get something leaving. Adam and leave. Remember that. This is what's happening. Two opposing forces, you add them and we get this leaving force. It's like a trinity here because you've got the negative to positive, but you've got this coming out of here. But really it's just these two opposing forces, the dual system, and then you have the trinity here. That's just the way it is. Nothing happens until it gets flowing. And that's when you get the voltage, the sun, bang. We've got the sun, it started everything flowing. Before the sun, dark, havoc, chaos, primordial deep, whatever. And then the right frequency. Set everything off. And that's what we need. And here's another simple explanation. Well, this is what a black hole looks like. That's all a black hole's doing. See that? You know the heaters that look like this these days. Because there's heat out here. There's the voltage. It's a circle like this, creates a vortex. It's just like magnetism, because magnetism is the same, hot and cold. The magnetic field needs electricity, electricity needs magnetism. So it's basically hot, you could say hot and cold, or electron, proton. So you've got this heat, hot heat here, creates its own vortex in the centre here. So this wants to rush back into the centre. This is what's happening here. This wants to rush to the centre, and out of the centre comes the opposite force out into the stronger field. It's getting squeezed. So two high pressure zones rushing to the low pressure zone. And this low pressure gets squeezed out and rushes back into the more powerful zone of its opposition, its opposite, back into there. That's what's happening here. It rushes into there, and what happens when it goes in there? So it's hot going into this cold vortex, shoots out the other side, spins around, comes back to the heat. This is what it's doing, hot and cold, hot and cold. This is where we need to get our free energy. It's hot and cold, hot and cold. And that's how Earth works. It's based on the hot and cold. Cold Arctics and the heat from the tropics. But you don't get the heat until you get the sun going. So it's all about the resonant frequency. So in these magnetic fields, we're going to create vortexes, whatever, over unity. You're going to have the right resonant to get things flowing properly and get the over unity, super over unity. So it's like that, and then you turn around, you're back. That's what the black hole is. That black hole is sitting back in here, in the centre of creation. And look, it's basically inverting itself, and it's amplified. It's amplified because this turns into a, well, it basically is. It's a massive trumpet. So you could say like that. It's the sound, but we don't hear all the frequencies, all the sound, do we? We only hear a certain range. But over the last few years, they've heard all these loud noises up north. It's to do with the systems changing, and all this noise is being reverberated in this closed system. Although we're stuck down here, I think it's a complete sphere that goes around like that, because you need this area here for that to flow. They're getting all that noise up there. They don't know where it's coming from, but it's coming from out of here. So realise Adam and Eve. Adam, and then one will leave. It's the Trinity. It's that simple. Or you can go back and say there's an atom, as we know. You know, we've been educated to believing in an atom. But think of it like that. Add them and leave. It's the Trinity. What have we got over here? Earth is the state of inertia at the centre of a moving magnetic field. Earth is not moving. The field is moving around it. We are in the dielectric field that will always fall back to the state of inertia, just as you would fall back into a black hole. So we've got the moving magnetic field around us. Earth, state of inertia, nothing going on. It's like the neutral between the negative and the positive in a magnet. That's inertia. It's created from the centre, because there's nothing happening at the centre of a flippin' black hole. All the action is around the horizon, the perimeter. That's where the sun was created, because that's the two forces. It's the convergence and divergence. Convergence and divergence. All the action inside a magnet. If you don't know about that, you should do, because what's the name? Wheeler. He knows all about it. It's all in the flux. You've seen it there. All the actions in the centre here. You know, around the perimeter here. But in the centre of the black hole is nothing. It's neutral. It's inertia. This is what we got on the Earth, because it's all amplified out. So everything up above here has its own centre of mass. Earth is not the centre of mass. This is the centre of mass. And your centre of mass will always fall back to the state of inertia, like falling back into the black hole. So in the black hole, everything's pressurised out with counter with what do you call it? Centrifugal force. What's the opposite to that? Inverted. Pushed back in. Falling back to earth. Into the black hole. State of inertia. We all are the centre of the mass. Easy to explain, really. Too easy, really. If you're hanging off here, and you have your parachute there, what's going to happen? If Earth was the centre of mass, why wouldn't you fall down equal? No, that'll flip back up and you are the centre of mass. It's a comical way of doing it, but that's it in reality. State of inertia at the centre of the moving magnetic field. Everything is moving around us. That's the magnetic field moving. Life is created when everything moves. And this is where free energy comes into it. It's the movement. It's the movement. And it's all about the magnetic fields. You've got a magnetic field coming together. Add them together, we get something leaving. Adam and Eve leaves. What can't we get about that? Look at it, see how it works. That's it there. Comes back to the atom in the centre here. And then it's projected out. What have we got? We've got two systems. Two systems. This is just so, that's just self-explanatory now. You can't not get it. You just have to realise that nothing's physical in this world. It's all in our head. Those five senses tell us things are physical.